Good afternoon. Welcome to the market close for September 5th, 2024. We've got a red day on our hands, as you can, of course, see from the red sign behind me. I do apologize. We have missed a couple of market closes that we were going to do earlier in this week. I got hit with a little bit of I don't know if it was a cold. It was more like a flu. I was just really, really tired and really, really weak, and I slept a lot. But I'm back. I am totally ready, and we're doing a market close today to make up for Tuesday, and we're going to do one tomorrow too. We will do one tomorrow to make up for Wednesday. So 2 market closes. You're not losing anything this week. So other than I lost a little bit of time to sleeping, but I am all caught up. No videos were lost in the process of being sick. I'm impressed with myself. I got the preview version of tomorrow's video out today to the channel members. So I'm on the ball. I'm on the ball. So it's kind of the way I film, it gives me a little bit of a buffer zone. So I use that buffer zone to its fullest. Let me tell you, I sure did. Okay, let's start off with the market. We're going to pull it on up. Here is the TSX. As you can see, we are in the red, negative 0.20%. Funny thing is, when I was making the new red thumbnail, because I didn't like the old one, I thought it was too busy. So I made a new one today, and I'm just uploading it, and the market did hit the green briefly. I'm like, uh-oh. But I'm like, nah, I got confidence that you're going to fall back into the red. So I just went ahead with the red anyway, and I was right. I'm glad to hear that. So the TSX in the red. Of course, we had a big red day on Monday as well. On Tuesday. Monday was, of course, a holiday. So we did start off. September started off nice and red. A little bit of recovery yesterday, but we're back to the red again. We're going to talk a little bit about September, the volatility, and is this going to be that buy the dip month? What's going on? We'll find out as we move along. S&P 500 also in the red, down 0.49%, but the NASDAQ, they're just touching green a little bit. 0.80 up. Oh, wait a minute, 0.07. I was looking down here at gold. Oh boy. Now keep in mind too, my NASDAQ, I don't know why it's the only one, but it is delayed by 15 minutes. Everything else is accurate to the second. NASDAQ is delayed. So 15 minutes ago, they were in the green. They could be in the red right now. I don't know, but they could be. Dow Jones in the red, down 0.71%. Gold. Now gold, we've already told you how much gold is up. It's up 0.81%. Silver's up 1.79%. WTI, good old oil, is down, not by much, 0.14%. Bitcoin not having the best day, down by 3.45%. Here's Bitcoin over here. Just not having a really good day. Ethereum also down 3.76%. I have a feeling that crypto in general is going to look pretty bad. Well, we're going to find out here in a moment. We're going to take a look at these heat maps. We will start with Canada. And, oh yeah, there's a lot of red in here, but there's also some green. Like, look at this. TD is up 2.35%. Who is this? There we go. Oh, CCL Industries. Well, they're doing good. They're up 2.32%. So there are some good stories in here. Alimentation Couche-Tard, they are up 1.29% as well. So, they've had a little bit of a bounce, a little bit. Now, their earnings come out this week, and I have a feeling they might already be out. We'll look at that. We'll look at that later. We will definitely. All right, ETFs, it's just a gray. Everything's either a little bit down or in some cases a little bit up, but not too much to really be excited about. If anything, these are the type of days that your inverse ETFs might actually be doing okay. Looking to the U.S., a little bit different. We do have a lot of red, but look at this. We do have some interesting greens. We've got Tesla up 4.28%, Amazon up 2.27%. Merck, what is this? Yeah, Merck and Company up. What is that? 2.59%. Apple's up 0.55%. Even Nvidia is up a tiny bit, 0.33%. Don't get me started on Nvidia, though. That's for sure. Oh boy, I'm still a little bitter over last week with Nvidia. However, I will say all of the positions that I had opened for that earnings call, I'm still holding them because I do have confidence that Nvidia is going to recover. But you just have to be patient. It's kind of one of these things. When you have a good company and things don't go the right way, you don't want to just bail, because a lot of times when you do, you realize losses that you shouldn't realize at all. And that's kind of that situation I'm in with Nvidia. So I do get a few things tied up in Nvidia, but that's fine. We're okay with that. All right, crypto. Oh boy, yeah, look at this. Bitcoin, 3.27% down. Ethereum, pretty much the same story, 3.63. Solana, this 3.6 is really starting to, yeah, we got a little bit of a trend here. Toncoin, that's up 2.16%. There are a lot of coins that I've never ever heard of. We're gonna go deep. We're gonna find a coin I've never heard of. Actually, there's about 14,000 or more coins out there. All right, let's get here, and we're gonna find. All right, there we go. We're coming down here. We'll grab a green one since everything else is red. Let's find a coin that's doing good. We got this one, or we got this. Well, let's go with this one because, according to Huey Lewis in the news, it's hip to be square. So let's see what we got here. Som Sing. Okay. How are they up? This looks like a flat line. But apparently, let's zoom in. Well, we can zoom in a little bit. Oh, yes, look. They went up a tiny hill. Boom. Oh, wow, that makes it worth it. This coin that's worth, gosh, it's not even worth a tenth of a penny. It's worth 0.0004 cents. That's, yeah, that's not great. Anyway, Som Sing is not a coin I'm ever going to buy. I hope that none of you guys buy it. I don't even know what this coin is about. But it doesn't look very promising to me. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and I'm okay with that. If I'm completely wrong, maybe something is the next Bitcoin. Who knows? Yeah, it's not. It's not. Let's just be honest with each other. This is a piece of crap coin. That's what it is. It's simple as that. So that's one of those 14,000 coins I'm never going to buy or have any exposure to. All right. Oh boy, let's come back. Let's say hello to the chat. All right, Andrew is first in the house with a hello, everyone. We got Prairie Investor in here. Good afternoon, everyone. Listening in as I work. Hope you're feeling better, Candace. I'm feeling a lot better. Feeling most of my strength is back. Though I did this morning when I had to film today. Normally I film yesterday. So I had to film today and get the editing done. So I actually did the sitting one. So, because I tried a couple things and I wasn't happy with the bookcase that over there. I always have to remember opposites. I wasn't happy with the bookcase. I felt that it's okay for like the live streams, but I found for the videos, it was kind of messing things up. So what I did do, and I'll need your guys' feedback on this, is I borrowed, we've got a divider downstairs that we use basically to keep the cats away from the door when, we're getting deliveries or when groceries are being delivered, things like that. So I brought that upstairs and I used that to sort of, hide away from the bookcase. So anyway, what I'm asking you guys is when you get a chance to see that video today, if you're a channel member, or tomorrow, or if you're really busy, maybe on the weekend, let me know. Let me know in the comments if you like it, if you think it works. Because if it works, I'll just order another one of them, and then I'll have one up here for that. So that would be kind of cool. So just something to keep in mind. All right. Mario is in the house with a good afternoon. We got Sammer in here. Good afternoon, all. And here's Patricia with a hi. Yeah, definitely a lot of red coins. So there's not many of us here today, but I never do market closes on Thursday. So people are like, what? What's going on? So I will tell you guys, hit the like button. If you haven't yet, hit that like button because that's going to help push it out. And that way there, some of the regular folk will start saying, oh my gosh, look, there's a market close. I got to get there quickly. I've already got in the back of my head a vision of Vic gunning his car to try to get home to watch it once he finds out. But yeah, so just do that. And that's cool. That's cool. All right. Oh boy. I am feeling, yes, I am feeling much, much better. It's a weirdest cold, and I mentioned this right off of the top. I wasn't coughing, I wasn't sneezing. I was a couple of things. I lost all my strength, and I was tired. And when I had a fever, but other than that, the fever burned itself out the first day, and then I slept most of it off. Yesterday, I was just a little bit too weak. I almost did the. I was so close to doing the market close yesterday, but today I'm mostly fine. Yeah, everything is doing a lot better for sure. Ricardo. Oh yeah, I've been belly up all week. I have lost literally 7% overall in my account due to this. Yeah, it's So September is one of these months that it has a reputation. September has a reputation for being red. Now, I'm not saying it's not warranted, but I'm saying it is a little overhyped. That doesn't mean we're not going to have, a typical red September. Does not mean that at all. The only reason I say it's overhyped is because there are a lot of data points that just happened to fall in September that really, really skew the numbers even deeper than they really are. They're still statistically, we're still probably a little bit more red than green in September. And a part of that, of course, is, well, the U.S. market. So in the United States, September is a tax-paying time because they have 2 times a year that they pay taxes. September is the other one for businesses. So a lot of, institutional investors and things like that, and just businesses in general, are forced to liquidate things to pay taxes. So that does impact us when September rolls around. And of course, if you're selling a lot of stocks, that will help drive prices down. That'll create red market conditions. So the good news is October is often called Uptober. Now, we do have that U.S. election, and that's another little thing that we got in the way. And I just have to pay attention here. Oh, there it is. I was like, where the heck's the bell? Because we're getting really close. So we do have that U.S. election in November. That will create more volatility. Now, I do think October, it could be more interesting. I think October will be better than September. And even September, I know we started off bad, and I know that the hype is there, but I'm still trying to be as optimistic as possible. So we're going to have to see how this month progresses. Right now, it's 2 red days to 1 green. So let's see if we can tie it up tomorrow, and see what happens. One thing I will say, even if September ends up green in the end, you are still going to have some great opportunities this month to buy the dip. Because I think we're still going to see, and I think this is the truth for October as well. I think we're going to see volatility straight across the board, both months, all the way up to that U.S. election, as the market tries to digest who's going to be the next candidate. Now, in the news today, Vladimir Putin. So Putin came out and he endorsed a candidate. And I bet you, if I were to go out and poll people who haven't heard this news, I bet almost everybody would get it wrong who he endorsed. He actually endorsed Kamala. I was like, what? He didn't endorse Trump? But he endorsed Kamala. And his reasoning for that was that he said he liked Joe Biden, and he had planned to endorse Joe Biden. And since Joe stepped down and said that he's throwing his support behind Kamala, Putin's going to just do the same. And by the way, guess what? The market closed. We got the bell time, bell time. Woohoo! There we go. We'll all hit the bell really hard tomorrow. Really, Friday's a good day to have a loud bell, a very loud bell. Let's see. The only good thing was seeing wheat continue to rise. Maybe my play will work in the end. Now, this is the beautiful thing. Like if you saw the video I made recently on alternative investments, one of the nice things is when you've got markets like this, where things are going into the dumper, usually commodities are safer bets. You know, even in rough times, people still need their wheat. People still need to eat. So things like that can sometimes be some pretty good hedges against some of the volatility that's going on in the market. All right, Mohammed is here with a hi, everybody. All right, and Patricia says, I was surprised too because you come in on Wednesday. I know. It's one of those things that's like, I mean, I looked at it this way. Well, this one here, technically this one is, they had, they earned a market close for Tuesday because normally it would have been Monday, but because of the holiday, Tuesday. So this is making up for that. And then I was just sitting there, I'm saying, well, you know what? I missed the Wednesday. Let's throw them the Friday too. So definitely doing that. Definitely wanted to do that. Let's see. Patricia says, looking for more red days. All right. Let's see. So the wheat play is due to the Canadian railroad strike. I was reading that Canada has like 1 billion grains of wheat. And with the strike, I figure they will squeeze the price. Supply and demand, right? Supply and demand. So that's a possibility. I mean, and even still, it's still not a bad play. I mean, I think things like food are, they're a constant need. It's one of the reasons that some of these stocks like Dollarama, Loblaws, even by lesser extent, Alimentation Couche-Tard, it's one of the things that makes them a little bit less makes them a little bit more recession-proof than your typical stock. So that's not too shabby at all. Ricardo says $1 billion of wheat in storage. Yeah, but keep in mind, this was the dangerous part about that strike, is you can only store wheat for so long. An extended strike, and we could get to a point where we start having some stuff rot. Now, I don't know the exact amount of time that you can store wheat for, but I know that there is a limit. I know that I think it was it chia seeds or something? There was another commodity that they were going on about that they were saying it's going to start rotting fast if we don't get if this rail strike goes on any length of time. But luckily, it didn't. Let's see. TSLL up 33%. We got to look at this because that sounds pretty darn incredible. Here we go. So this here is bull. So this is the Dire X on daily TSLA bull 2X shares. So you got to look at that. Let's just look at the last 6 months here. All right. Now, I don't know if I'm looking at the right thing, Larry. Well, maybe it went from 9, so basically 890 up until, this is pretty good. So this is one of these ones where they're using leverage. That's what that 2X means. So in this case here, all right. So this here is basically, it's looking at Tesla, right? So it is basically giving you 150% of the daily performance of Tesla. So when we looked at Tesla, if you guys remember, let's go to the US one right over here. You'll notice they're up almost 5%. And this thing will take that another 150% up. So that's not too shabby. So, once you multiply that, you're up around 33%. So that's pretty good. But here's the warning. I always got to give this warning. When you are dealing with a 2X leveraged stock, you're going up fast. But when Tesla falls, you're falling fast. So you always have to be kind of careful. I always like to say, if you're into technical analysis and you've got some, where their, where their support levels, where their resistance levels are. You kind of get an idea of when, how that stock is going to move within a particular channel. If you get lucky into that situation that you get that clear cut, then, and this is the beautiful part, then something like a 2x is not a bad thing to play. But I will say, and holy banana bread, where is my, I don't need that, and I don't need that. This is what I need right here. All right, let's create a channel. I'm just going to create a quick little channel here. I'm going to attempt to create a quick, seriously, banana bread? Come on, give me this. We'll use black. Hello. All right. Technical difficulties on a whiteboard. Seriously, really? What is going on? All right. Well, it's going read only on October 1st. So I don't, oh, come on. I want to, all right, there's the eraser. There we go. Here's a pen. Let's bring it up. All right. You know what? I will refresh the page. Oh, yeah, there's a refresh for sure. Let's clear the frame. Now, let's see if it will let us draw. All right, I wanted black. All right, here we go. All right, so let's just say these are not straight lines, folks. But let's say you have a stock that's been moving in a channel like this, and I will give you, let's just say for now, it's been kind of moving like this, maybe like this, and you've been charting it, and you kind of see that, you've got this, you've got this thing like this. So you're looking at it like this. So what you're going to do is, if you're going to use that 2x leverage, right? Well, you're going to wait. I'm going to change, because this is going to be our future. I'm going to put the future as orange. So what you're doing is you're waiting for it to come down. All right. And then ideally go back up. So here's kind of what I say. If you have this charted, well, the chances are it may not even make it to that line. It may actually change direction before it gets there. So what I would do is I would set up my own little buy and sell zones. So how I would probably do it in a situation like this is I'm going to do, we'll do it as red. So my buy and sell zones might be something like this and this. So I'm working within that channel, but I'm making room, because what would happen is if I'm waiting for it to get here and it doesn't, and then it changes direction, I've lost an opportunity for one, basically for one. So I'm then going to, all right, I'll put a B here. I'm going to buy down here, and I'm going to sell up here. So if I was using a 2x, if I wanted to play 2x's, this is where I would be playing it. I would be playing a 2x down here, because it should be reversing direction and going up here. This is crucial, though. I'm going to put this in. If I don't want to lose a bunch of money, now it depends. Now, if you're talking Tesla, to be honest, and you don't mind losing the money, let's say it did break out of the channel and it went down to here. It's probably going to change around and come back eventually, right? It will eventually get back up here. So you don't technically have to lose money. However, if you're not very confident and you're like, I'll take a small loss, but I don't want to, then in that case there, what you want to do is you might want to put like a stop loss in here. So you put a stop loss just a little bit below. So normally what I would say for a stop loss is when you got that buffer there, I would put that stop loss at basically equal distance buffer on the outside. That's how I normally would run a stop loss. That's especially because, when I'm doing trading opposed to long-term investing, if I was doing long-term investing, I'm not touching a 2x. I don't need to. I can make money other ways. But if I'm investing and I'm making it, doing that for a living per se, well, what I want is, in that case there, I'll probably take that stop loss because I don't have the time to let that, come back in. So I'll take that stop loss. And then what I'll do is wait for the next channel before I would use that. But I want a very clear looking channel before I would use a 2x, just because, like I said, you get 2x up, 2x down. So I always want to be a little bit careful. All right. Now let's see here. Yeah, and it's why I'm playing it. The strike takes long, the grain's rotten. Yeah, well, exactly. All right. Larry says, we can get rid of the, the diagram. Crude oil hit 40 cents from the low in December 2023. Went long UCO 2X crude ETF. Saudi and the Gulf states are going to cut output on a deal they're signing this upcoming month. This is true. I have heard rumblings that OPEC is looking to cut output. So that would be a fantastic time if you want to go with a bull. So with a bull oil ETF, for example, that would be a good way to go. So UCO is definitely one. Now, if of course things go the opposite direction, there's always the inverse as well. So that's something I always put out there. You can make a lot of money using inverse and bull. So basically bull, the inverse ones, they call them bears. So you can play the bull and the bear, but just always keep in mind, there's a lot of extra risk there. And you want to have a very solid game plan. You know what I'm saying? Game plan, you want to have that in place. Because if you're just, doing it by the seat of your pants, next thing you know, you didn't have that, stop loss in there. And all of a sudden you're down in here and you're like, oh, man, why didn't I put a stop loss in? So, yeah, play it smart. Just play it smart. It's better to take a little loss and, get yourself into a new trade that's going to get you some money than to get caught up in some big, thing that might take maybe it's going to take a month to get your money back. Now, long term, that's not so bad. But if you're a short term trader, then yeah, that's not a place to be for sure. All right. Larry says, was doing from a month. I always buy when it drops to 7 or 8 and keeps grabbing more on the drop. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, Larry's really smart. Let's just put this out here. Larry used to work for Tesla Smart. That's how smart Larry is. And he also manages a lot of other people's money because he does run a fund. So Larry's not somebody who I would ever question any of his moves. Let's just say that. I respect Larry a lot. All right. Let's see for TSLL. Mary's in the house. So you guys now know you absolutely have to hit the like button now. I'm going to have some coffee while you guys are hitting the like button. There's nothing to watch for the next 1.8 seconds. And there you go. There you go. I can feel the likes. I can feel them already coming in. So that's fantastic. All right. We're going to look at the market again, our final look at the market. But because of that 15-minute delay we have on the NASDAQ, I figured let's look at it at 4:15. Then we don't have to revisit the NASDAQ. It'll be fine. That's the way I say it. Al Bundy is in the house. Let's see. How come there's a Thursday show? I am always confused with with when the shows are on. Understandable. Well, if you're confused, this is what I say. We have Discord. Let me pull this up here. Let's pull this up. Bang. There's also, I have a copy of this as well over on the Facebook group. But over here on the Discord group, we get a schedule. So it shows every show. Now, in this case here, so today's market close, this here is an exception, and tomorrow's market close an exception too. Excuse me. Because I was sick earlier in the week, I was not able to do on the weekend. During this week, they had won a extra market close for Tuesday. I was not able to do it because I was sick, and I couldn't do Wednesdays because I was sick. So I was like, I still want you guys to get the 2 market closes. So Thursday and Friday have become market closes this week. So I do try to update the schedule as much as I can. And this is a good thing about the schedule. Right now, it goes all the way up to October 20th. And I try to keep it updated as much as possible. It gives you the general idea of what's going on. Oh, this one here, this is exciting right here. September 13th, which happens to be my birthday. I'm just putting that out there again. That's our first ever subscriber-sponsored video. So Funny Books, you guys have seen Funny Books around. Funny Books has sponsored us to do a deep dive on HBA. So that's coming out on September 13th. There will be another chance to have another subscriber-sponsored video next month in October. That will be for the October 15th show. That will be a subscriber-sponsored video as well. So that's going to be kind of cool. Whew. Anyway, that's the schedule. I do like it. All right, it is 4:15. Let's take that final look. I've got the other screen up. Let's take our last look at the market. All right, we'll start with the TSX, of course. Finished in the red, down 0.23%. Same thing with the S&P 500, down 0.3%. So not that bad, though. In terms of, like, this is nothing compared to Tuesday. So in a sense, it's almost flat, to be honest. It's almost flat. Not quite, but almost. NASDAQ finished in the green. So they managed to hold out 0.05%. So once again, really the difference between these guys and the NASDAQ is not a lot. Dow Jones did the worst out of all of them, down 0.54. So gold still looking good, 0.81. Actually, it was 0.81 the last time we looked. 1.79 for silver. WTI down a tiny bit, 0.19. Bitcoin down 3.32. Ethereum down 3.30. Once again, here are our heat maps. So the video coming out, by the way, let's bring up this group. The video coming out on tomorrow, it is the Q3 bank outlook. So we're taking a look at the banks. So we will look at, we'll look at the big six for the most part. I did give a little preview of the total returns of the smaller banks at the end. I actually had planned to do a little bit more, but once again, started to get sick, so I kept it a little bit simpler. At least the part I added. The rest of it is all the same as before. So anyway, that's coming out on Friday. Can't wait. The good old bank stuff. All right. ETFs, once again, pretty much. Now, what is this? NSCB. Let's look at this here. This is a sustainable Canadian BD. So is that kind of a bullion or something? No, bonds. Canadian bonds. Okay, so the bonds are doing good. They had a good day. So that's National Bank Sustainable Canadian Bond ETF unit. There we go. Wonderful. US, like I said, Tesla was looking good as we were talking about earlier, and Amazon. There's got to be a few more that were looking pretty good. Let's bring up all of the winners. Let's actually bring up the ones who really won big time. And let's even go all the way up here. So yeah, Amazon, Tesla, CMCSA. Who are they? Oh, that's Comcast. So that's Comcast did well. So I guess NBC. And on the health track, we had Baxter International. They did well too. Nice. And once again, not a great day in crypto. Is there anybody that did insanely beautiful in crypto? Let's find out. Let's see here. Now we're pulling up some of these crap coins in this process, but that's fine. Let's see. The highest one I can see here is Orbitler. What's an orbit? Oh, yeah, that is the highest. Yeah. Orbitler. What is an Orbitler? It's not worth much. At least it's worth more than a penny, but I do not know. Actually, looking at the logo, it makes me think it might be a game. It makes me think it might be a game. So who knows? It might be. Oh, well. All right. Let's get back to the questions. All right. Andrew says, how long do you think the sell-off will last? Do you think it will bounce back soon? Okay, well, the sell-off, um, it will persist, I think, into probably at least mid-September. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't mean that every day is going to be red. It just means that there's going to be, it's going to help with that volatility. Like, there's a good chance tomorrow could be green. There is. There's also a good chance it could be red. So it's going to be fun. I think it'll be a fun month. I think the thing for today is if you're looking at, so if you're a long-term investor, this month shouldn't bother you at all. It should actually be a month where you're like, okay, cool. Let's see what deals I can get. That's kind of that attitude. It's usually where people get upset about these red months and red periods is a lot of times if you're a short-term investor or if you're one of these people that panics when they see a red market. Because there are people, especially sometimes new investors, I think most seasoned investors are kind of used to it now. But newer investors, sometimes when they start to see stuff like this, they get to be a little on that, oh my God, everything's falling apart. What's happening? Everything has been green up to now for the most part. Things have been moving great. Everything's been fantastic. Then they start getting them red days and they're like, uh-oh, the sky is falling. What am I going to do? And I do understand that. It's, it's human nature. It goes back to something called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you can break that down and apply it to investing. I actually did once in a live stream a long time ago, but yeah, I think I called it the psychology of investing. So, there's a lot of things that happen in that way. So I always say this, look, don't let a red market get you down. Just know what to do in a red market. If you're a long-term investor, if anything, yeah, there's nothing wrong. Just you're picking up some shares at a little bit cheaper price. You're getting better entry points. That's all good and, good to do. Now, things that are outside of this. Now, if you have a company, for example, that is absolutely failing, not because of a red market, but because of poor management, because let's just say the environment is changing. I'll give you an example of a company. There used to be this company that made film, Kodak. You would never, you would have, they were blue chip. They were considered blue chip, but guess what? You don't see them making film anymore, do you? So that's the thing. There are situations where things change. So if a company makes item B and item B is no longer used, that company is probably one to get out of before you lose everything. So it's kind of that thing, just being able to monitor the world, knowing what's going on, knowing what's relevant to, the things that you're holding. That's why I like things like, for example, Trading View. Let's go back over here. Actually, we'll come over to, giving you guys a double shot of me. One of the things I like about Trading View is that when I put in a company's name or any company, so all right, let's go to NVIDIA right now. I have all the news updates. So anything relevant that mentions NVIDIA that comes out, I've got a whole bunch of news that's hitting here right away. So here's stuff on NVIDIA and Microsoft hit with a patent lawsuit. Uh-oh. That's always fun. And that's, that I find is cool. And it doesn't matter what the company is. Now, we did mention something earlier. I know ATD has an earnings call this week, and I think it's already happened, to be honest. But let's find out. All right, here's ATD. Yeah, here's their earnings here. Oh boy, so they missed. They missed on their earnings per share. So let's see, estimate was at $1.16. They came in at $1.14. So they did miss there, but they did beat on revenue. So they came in, they were supposed to come in around 24.96 billion. They came in at 25.23 billion. So that's not too shabby. So, overall, it's kind of still a miss, but it's kind of where they've been going lately. And you can sort of see here that earnings report, it did tank them down to 72.35 at one point. Now, because it wasn't that bad, and it really wasn't, they did recover through the day. So, that's not too bad. And they're already above where they started the day. So they recovered fine. And to me, that shows strength in a company. When you get a little bit of bad news and you recover beyond that bad news, to me, that's good. I like that. And yeah, here's the news, the latest news article. Couche-Tard investors more focused on potential 7 and it's 7 and 11, the 7-Eleven deal thing. So that's kind of what the people are more thinking about that, and they're probably kind of excited. Unfortunately, though, and I kind of told you guys this before, if that deal goes through, it is going to hurt their share price a little bit, because they are going to need to dilute some of them shares to get the money together for that big deal. So, if it looks like it's actually going to happen and you're holding ATD, you might want to consider your options. That's all I'm saying. You have to do your own due diligence to decide what you want to do. But I would recommend that you consider your options. All right, because I want you guys to preserve your cash. Enid says, good afternoon, everyone. Prairie. All right. Let's see. Appreciate your thoughts on did I not have the thing up the whole time? I did not. Oh, dear gosh. All right. Sorry. Let me bring it back up. I can't believe I was showing you guys this and I did not have it up. What I was just talking about here is that drop in their earnings. You can see they dropped down here, 72.35, and they did rebound above it. All right. There we go. Everybody's now back up to speed. Holy banana bread. Prairie. Prairie says, appreciate your thoughts on a horizontal move I'm considering. So sell out of HCal, Hamilton Enhanced Canadian Bank, so at 21.36, and move proceeds to HDIV, Hamilton Enhanced Multi-Sector Covered Call. Okay. So and this is going to be your movement across. Now, I will say right away. Now, let's actually look at these. Let's look at these here before I drop any any of my opinions on it here. All right. So first, we'll take a look at HCal. So let's pull this up here. All right. So here is your HCal. So your Hamilton Enhanced Canadian Bank ETF. Let's bring it up. All right. We'll look at it. Let's look at the last. We're going to look at the last. Just look at the last year. So they've been doing fine. They have been moving up. They have a half decent yield here. So 6.77%, not too shabby. And you are getting some good total returns. Now, this, of course, is tied to the banking system. So we know that the banking system has this mortgage wave it's already begun. I don't want to keep saying it's coming. It's here. It's begun. And the worst of it, though, is next year, is in 2025. That's the absolute worst. But it is already happening. And will this impact? How much is it going to hurt this price? It's not going to, I don't think this is going to go down. I think it's just going to slow how fast it moves up. But I still think this is going to be fine. I have no qualms. I have no qualms about this. Now, the one that he is thinking about moving over to is HDIV. So let's go over here. HDIV. Here we go. So the Hamilton Enhanced Multi-Sector Covered Call. All right. Now, when we look at the 1 year, you can see it has begun to move up. It has begun, it had that little V moment there. And it has started to move down a little bit here, but it has begun. Now, this one does offer a larger yield. So that's one thing to take into consideration. You're going to get more dividends, from this one. So you make more money. But here's the question. Is this going to rise more? Now, both are going to be impacted by rate cuts. And as we've now had 3, and there's more to come, so the rate cut train hasn't stopped yet, they're both going to respond, I think, well to the rate cuts. The only thing is, HDIV does not have to deal with a mortgage. Well, I don't want to say they don't. They don't have to deal with it as much because I'm sure that HDiv probably has some exposure to the financial sector. So they're only going to deal with it partially compared to the banks. So you have to sort of look at it this way. Will the extra dividends and the fact that these guys don't have as much exposure to that mortgage wave, will that add up to a larger total return? Now, time will tell for sure. It's not a bad move. Like, honestly, I think if you make the move, I think the chances of you being out or are not great. I think that you might be a little bit further ahead on the other end of it. As I said, time will tell us, but I don't think there's really a lot of chance on this move for you to basically lose out. And this will create more liquid money flowing through the higher dividend. So it's not a bad move. It's not a bad move at all. I don't think it's as high of a payout as you're hoping for, but I do think you'll probably end up in the plus if you do it. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. Of course, you have to make up your own mind with your own due diligence on this, but I don't think it's going to be as big of, and I could be completely off my rocker on this one. I could be. I think it will win. I think the total return is going to be higher on HDiv than HCal. I just don't think it's going to be really big. I think the difference will be less than let's just say less than 10% between the two. That's what I'm thinking. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. And if you do it, keep us updated. Keep us updated because I would be very interested to see how that turns out. Larry says, on that, I can handle losses in my corp or fund with over 95% of my money is in, but it's like painful in my personal. I think it's a weird dissociation. Yeah, no, I can understand that because sometimes you're looking at things and it's interesting. Sometimes I'm giving advice on stocks that I don't have, and then they do exactly what I say they're going to do, and I'm like, why the heck didn't I just put some money in that? That happens more times than I care to admit, but it does. But that's because you guys bring me. Sometimes I bet you every week I hear 2 or 3 stocks that somebody will throw at me that I may have never heard before, and I'm like, okay, let's go take a look. Especially we got a few American viewers who love to throw American stocks at me, and some of them are obscure, and I'm like, I've never heard of this company, but I'm happy to go in and look at them because I like running into things I've never seen before. Simple as that. Yeah, I have some weird mindset differences. And Al is saying hi to good old Enid. Always good to see you, Enid. Definitely. You're back in Canada now, I believe, because I know you had a vacation. That was a while ago. So you're definitely back as we move towards winter. Now, a whole bunch of stuff has been going on. So when we talk about volatility, we've also got this crazy political volatility now in Canada. Let's actually get rid of that for the moment. So if you guys have not heard, Jagmeet Singh yesterday has decided to end the relationship with the Liberal Party. So as he said, he's torn up their agreement. So the Liberal Party is no longer propped up by the NDP. So what does this mean? Does this mean we're going to get a fall election? A lot of people have been speculating. I am going to speculate too. I don't think it means that at all. Now, there's a couple of reasons. So I think when you look at it from the perspective of Jagmeet, one of the things is that before there's an election, I think they want to distance themselves from the Liberals. And right now, they just have a couple of days is not enough. A couple of months, perhaps not a month. So I don't think you're going to see a vote of have the Liberals fail a vote of non-confidence this time around. I think that they're not going to let that happen because they want to at least. I would say that they're probably gunning for maybe a spring election. So and that gives them time to distance themselves from the liberals, and it it gives Jagmeet enough time to have achieved his pension. Right now, he's roughly 6 months shy of receiving a pension for serving in the House. So, as the leader of that party, can you see him putting that pension in jeopardy? I wouldn't personally. I'm being honest. I mean, I'm very, and I'm honest with you guys. And but I mean, when it came to something like that, if I was the leader of the NDP right now, I was 6 months away from getting a pension for the rest of my life, there's absolutely no way I'm going to let that government fail. Even though I've begun that process of separating myself from those liberals, I'm still going to find a way. Even if it's a situation where it's like, okay, how many votes do they need to not go down? And I would just say, okay, well, we'll make it a free vote with the parties. The party's not voting all in the same direction. And then maybe, instruct enough backbenchers to support the Liberals' bill just so that it doesn't trigger that vote of non-confidence that the Conservatives are hoping to see. Because the Conservatives would love to go to an election right away. I mean, it would be a clear-cut win. Not to say it won't be in the spring, but I think the difference is, and maybe I'm really wrong on this, but I think the difference is that if the NDP have enough time to distance themselves from the Liberals and pretty much badmouth them between now and the spring, they could end up being the official opposition. They've, it could be, they've had, they've done it before, and they could do it again. So we'll have to see. We'll really have to see how this all is going to roll out. But I thought it was interesting. We're having an interesting week, September. Oh boy, we got political volatility. We got market volatility. Well, we got a rate cut, and we should be getting another rate cut in the US. What is it? The 18th, I think, September 18th. So, it's looking to be a very interesting month. So that's one of the things. It's exciting. It's exciting to be investing, to be into finance, and to just watch what's happening in the world. So this is going to be a great month. I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it, especially the news part of it. I think we're going to have a lot of interesting news, and we'll have a lot of interesting politics. And that's the thing. Like, as I try. I will say I do try to keep us as finance focused as possible, but sometimes you can't help it. Politics just gets in there, and sometimes politics is just very interesting. And we all know, as investors, politics has a really big bearing on the market. We're not immune to what's going on in the House of Commons, and we're not immune what's going on in Washington either. So that's one of the reasons that I do try to keep abreast of what's happening, both sides of the border, because I think it's really important. All right, Vinit's in the house with a hi all, and Prairie says thank you for your insights, Canada Ace. That's always funny. Anytime I see my name misspelled this way, it amuses me because I did it once. I was a volunteer coordinator, and I had to sign something, and I can't remember why. But I started to sign my name, and I looked down, and I realized I wrote down Canada. I was like, what am I thinking? How did I do that? So it was kind of funny. Al says, yeah, money greed is a powerful motivator. Yeah, it absolutely is. And so you have to keep, and that's the thing, like when you're trying to figure out what's going to happen, you got to calculate all the angles. Because if you're not looking at the bigger picture, you're going to miss. Like if you did not know that Jagmeet needed 6 months for a pension, then you're like, oh, that's that kind of changes that picture a little bit. So definitely something to keep in mind. JJ says, howdy. Good to see you, JJ. Always good to see the mod roll in. Bismarcky says, good afternoon. Let's see. Candace, check out the new channel names on Discord live on the stream. I'm eager for your reactions. Oh dear. Here we go. I'm almost afraid, but here we go. So yes, JJ has been let loose on the Discord, and I'm afraid what is gonna the purgatory. So apparently, when you join the Discord service, you start off in purgatory. Oh dear. Oh boy. Rules you must obey or else. Oh dear. Guys, there's no or else. I don't have a lot of rules. There's only one rule. Just be nice to each other. Be respectful. That's it. Simple as that. Oh boy. Scammer alert as. Okay. Oh boy. JJ, you have too much time on your hands. The deep dive vibes. Okay. And then I saw this the other day, the dead pool instead of the pool. That's the pool, everybody. I probably need a better name for it, though, to be honest. Maybe not dead pool, but something. Okay, general stuff. The newbie incubator. Okay. Oh, boy. Crypto fiasco. I don't know if I'd call it a fiasco. Oh, boy. This is Sparta. Oh, that's the one about us. Okay, Sparta. All right, pet stop spot stayed the same. Important news feed. What's an important news feed? Is that was just the news, I think. International buzzness. Buzzness? Come on, JJ. Buzzness is not a word. All right. All right. Well, at least, yeah, okay. There we go. I reacted. Are you happy? Al says, selfishly, that's why I want Trump to win so my stock does better. All right, that's fair enough. And there are people who think that. I look at it this way. Whoever wins, either side, have a game plan. Interestingly enough, I don't know. I don't think I don't think it's going to be a situation like Trump. Yeah, Trump may help a little bit, but I honestly don't know what Kamala's deal would be in regards to the market and with business. I think we'll get a clear picture as we see some of these debates, provided they happen. Because I keep hearing rumors that Donald wants to get out of a couple of them or something. I'm not sure. I'm hoping they happen. I think that'll give us a clearer picture on what's going on. Right now, I don't know. I don't have enough information. All right. Whoops. Here we go. Whoops. I had my screen way over to the side. Why did I do that? I don't know. All right. Bismarcky, thinking of adding a position in VDY. Seems to be doing okay. Yeah, I mean, VDY. Let's pull this up for everybody. Here we go. VDY. I mean, you gotta love Vanguard right off the bat. All right. So this here is your Canadian high dividend yield. And they tend to do that. I mean, I always like Vanguard because they tend to pick half decent stocks. And you can see they've been doing great. They've been moving up pretty good. Now, they don't have a huge dividend, like it's 4.141%. I actually did a deep dive on VDY not that long ago. Both VDY and even more recently VFV. I did them as well. But this is not a bad. I think this is a nice solid one. This one I would definitely consider it blue chip. Now you can get pretty much the same type of thing with covered calls, but that does add a little bit of extra risk, and not just risk. It basically increases your some of the, I don't want to say losses, but your potential. So it means that you don't get as much of your potential as what you could be getting on the way up, because when these stocks are doing really well, so in a stronger bull market, you're going to have strike prices with a covered call that's going to basically pull you out of the game because they have to sell at the strike prices. And then by the time they get back in, you've lost some of that upside potential. So it's always one of those things I say, be a little careful with. But I like this. I do like if you're doing long-term investing and you don't absolutely need a lot of income, then you don't really need to have a lot of covered calls. You can have some because some people are like, I love dividends. I love seeing them coming in. And there are some that I really like, but you don't have to. You can play it. You can play like this. And amazingly enough, when you look, if you were to take this ETF, so VDY, if you had a covered call version that was pretty much identical to this, and then you charted them out over a longer period of time, you'll actually see that this one will win on the total return because of the covered call losing, upside potential here and there along the way. So that does give them a little bit of an edge. It's sort of like if you remember that old story about the tortoise and the hare. Well, this is the tortoise. The hare is the covered calls. So all flashy, but slow and steady sometimes wins the race. So just something to put out there. Let's see. Do you have any companies you go in and out of at the same price when it happens a few times a year? Let's see. Do I have any companies that I go in and out of at the same price when it happens a few times a year? Sometimes when I'm trading, I will get into a company or I will buy a stock and it just isn't moving. And sometimes I do get out at the same price I bought. So sometimes I will get in and out at that same price. I don't like it because then it's like, well, that was a waste of time. But sometimes I don't have a choice depending on, what's happening. Like if all of a sudden it was on an upward trend and it just didn't look like it looked like it was turning around and going the other way. And maybe I just missed capping on that top part and I managed to get out at the same price because I can see that it's clearly going to fall. That has happened. And that's one of the reasons, like when we go back to, let me just pull this. Whoops. Here we go. This one here. That's one of the reasons I tend to buy and sell at these inner buffers that I create. So I leave this part alone because that can sometimes happen. I know when I was brand new to trading, sometimes I would be trying to, my price would be up in here and I'm like, okay, let's get another. Let's use the laser pointer. Ooh, look at this. It's why is this going offline on? All right, so I could be up here, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe now's the time. But I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. I want a little bit higher, and then it changes direction. So when it changes direction like that, there's been a couple of times that, I caught it as it changed direction, and and maybe I ended up buying. I ended up all of a sudden because it changed direction fast. It was down here. I ended up, the same kind of situation. Whoops. Oh, this is so neat. So yeah, you can run into a situation where that happens. And that's kind of one of these things. That's one of the reasons I like to use that buffers. Because if I buy it here and then it does sink fast, well, if I sold it up here and it gets up a little bit above it and then it sinks fast, I'm good. Heck, it's probably only going to sink to there unless it's going to break out of the channel. And then I can buy it back here. If it sinks because I didn't sell it, because I was waiting for it to go up to the top, then I've lost a cycle and I have to wait for it to come back up again. So to be able to sell. So I just sort of keep that in kind of, I think I'm answering what you're asking, maybe in a rambly kind of way. Let's see. JJ says I'm happy. If you're happy, JJ, that's all that matters. That's fine. VDY is always a staple dividend ETF. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, it's a fantastic, it's one of them blue chip foundation circle, the wagon stocks. So you got to like it. Oh, I've been getting this new type of spam on my comments lately. I don't know if I have any right now. I'm going to take a gander. I'll show you guys one if I have one. Oh, of course I don't. I deleted them all just before coming on the air. Oh, no. Here's a bunch of them. All right. Let me drag them over. There's a bunch that are in my held for review. So, yeah, I've been getting a lot of these. Anita Circle, Schiller Skyway, White Melissa Harris, Sandra Perez, Stephen, Timothy Squares, Buckridge. I don't even know how they're trying to scam you with these. These are scam somehow. I don't know if it's like they're hoping they can get it through the YouTube algorithm, or they're hoping that I will just let them go through. Well, I'm not, because watch. Remove, 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 and remove. So I don't know what they are. I'm thinking, I don't know if they want you to take that name and maybe search for that name or something, but I've been getting like, this has started this week. I'm probably getting about 25 to 50 of these comments a day. They just keep coming. So I don't know what that is all about at all. It's the weirdest scam, because I'm used to the ones where they make that big post and they're like, oh my God, I just made a ton of money. All thanks to Jennifer Miller. And then 100 people or so all comment going, oh my God, Jennifer Miller, how do I contact her? And then they eventually reply back saying, oh, well, here's a Telegram number you can use to reach Jennifer Miller. She'll make you a lot of money. Hoping, of course, that some of you guys will see it and will, reach out on that Telegram saying, hey, Jennifer, I'm looking to make money. And then she's like, oh, wonderful. How much Bitcoin do you have? That's kind of the way those scams work. So just something to keep in mind, because they're kind of scammy, and I don't like them. And these ones are annoying me only because I have to keep on deleting them, and they just don't stop. They're like weeds. But now, and this is the beautiful thing, they had all been showing up in my main comment section. Now they're showing up in held for review. So that to me is great that they're at least being pushed off to the side, because I can let them rot in the held to review section if I really want to. Now I want to point out to you guys, if you ever leave a message and I don't respond, chances are YouTube threw it into held for review and I haven't looked at it yet, or YouTube deleted it straight out, because sometimes they will. So for example, if you try to say, hey, I'm interested in EIT dot .un. I was thinking canoe.eit. Anyway, I'm interested in EIT.un. You put that in there, it sees that dot and it thinks it's a web address. It won't let you put web addresses in, so it'll delete that, and I won't even know you said it. And then one day you'll be sitting there watching one of my videos and I'll say, I try to answer all my messages. And you'll be like, yeah, sure you do, Candace. You don't answer mine. What's going on? So I'm just putting that out there. That will happen. And there's nothing I can do. And most times I don't even know. Like, there's the occasional time it'll accidentally send me an email to let me know that you made a reply, but then it deleted it. So I can't even find hide or hair of the reply. And I have no idea what you have said or something like that. So just be careful. If you want to put a dot because it's on a different exchange, like, you don't even need to put a dot. If it's on the Toronto exchange, all you got to do is just give me the ticker number. If it's on a different exchange, like let's say it's on the US exchange, just say, hey, can you, I want to know about this US stock. Just say it's a US stock. Simple as that. Because otherwise I can't answer it. And I always, I try my best to get to everyone. Let's see. JJ says, what happened to the QQQY deep dive you promised? Did I promise a QQQY deep dive? Actually, I think I did. Now we better put it on the calendar. Let's go. Let's do it right now. I put it on the calendar and it will happen. Actually, we're in the wrong window. Here we go. All right. QQQY deep dive. Let's put it in there. Dear banana bread. All right. Yep. You see, that's why I have a mod to remind me of things like this. All right. Let's see here. All right. So it can't happen next week, but it can happen here. All right, so this one here, we're just going to put it in. Whoops, let me turn on the edit. All right, and next week here, where are we at? Right here. So September 20th, we can do it. All right, QQQY. All right, I did promise it to you guys, so we'll put it in, and yeah, we'll go with there. It'll be done. There we go. So that'll be September 20th. And I have to hit enter to get out of the edit mode. There we go. September 20th, QQQY. I do remember promising that. And I'm like, oh, Larry has a deal on. If you send him 1 Bitcoin, he's going to send you 2 back. No, don't do it. Nobody do it. Nobody do it. But yeah, those used to be the other ones. They used to, like a lot of hackers, they would hijack your YouTube channel, and then they would run some stupid program on it with Elon Musk usually giving a conference talk. And then on the side, they would have, limited time, and send us 1 Bitcoin, you'll get 2 back. Send 1 Ethereum, you'll get 2 back. And there used to be a whole bunch of different options there. And oh God, yeah, that was not good. Yeah, absolutely. It was on that full day live stream because I did XEI twice, so it wasn't fair to QQQY. That is absolutely. JJ is gonna. JJ was gonna send Larry a Dogecoin and get 2 Dogecoins back. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, I try to dodge those type of deals though personally. Pun intended, of course. All right, guys, we're heading towards the end. If you got some last minute questions, drop them in. I'm going to have some coffee while you guys are thinking about your questions. I'll bring up the big screen here, but I'll probably end up bringing this up again, so that's fine. Oh, that's so good. Larry says, I expect dog as currency. Oh, so there you go. Just show up at Larry's house, and you can probably crash there overnight as long as you pay him with a dash-in or something. Or what? There's other dogs. I think I don't know what type. If somebody was going to pay me with a dog, what type of dog would I want to receive? Yeah, I've always kind of wanted a Malamute, so bring me a Malamute. That's what we'll say. Although the cats probably would no longer like me after that. JJ says Shiba Inu coins. There we go. Yeah, we got Shiba Inu coins. All of that fun stuff. All right, so coming up this week, of course, we have a video dropping tomorrow. That is our Q3 bank review. And as I asked you guys earlier in the video, let me know if the divider works. Let me know what you think of it. And that will decide, because if you guys like it and think, okay, yeah, that works, then I'll just buy another one so I can have one for upstairs, and we'll use that. Now, if it does not work, please tell me it doesn't work. It's simple as that. I want to hear what you guys think, because I'm trying to pull things up, because I know that JJ doesn't like the green screen as much. So, and that's fine. I'm kind of like, I feel like I've outgrown the green screen, and I kind of want to have a background behind me. So we're like a real background behind me, opposed to a green screen and an imposed image over that. So definitely something I want to know for sure. Thoughts on Boeing? Are the unions ruining it, or is it because they contract out work now? Oh God, yeah, Boeing. If it wasn't for bad luck, Boeing would have no luck at all. It's they've sort of, it all began with those planes, and now they've friggin' stranded people in space. I mean, how bad can it get? I'm actually surprised that those astronauts even let themselves go up in a Boeing at that point. So, I don't know if I would blame it on unions, but I would definitely say that if you start contracting out to the lowest bidder, you're paying what you get. You're paying for what what you're paying for is what you get, pretty much. So it's kind of like, I don't know. There's some things that, especially when there's public safety involved, I don't know if the lowest bidder should be the prime candidate in choosing your manufacturer who's going to do the work for you. I would personally, um, I would look at the safety records of the work that that company has performed. Now, if they come in low and they have a really good safety record and quality record, sure, go ahead. But if you're if you're sacrificing a little bit of the safety record just to get a few dollars less, yeah, that's not a good idea at all. Oh dear. All right. I think we've hit the end for today. We are going to be back here again tomorrow, by the way. So tomorrow we will have a market close to end the week, and I like to call it the gateway to the weekend. So, and let's see what kind of crazy news happens tomorrow. Gotta love September, that's for sure. Okay, everybody. Until then, this has been fun for a Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow on Friday, and take care, everyone.